What's going on, everybody? My name is Caleb. This is You Are Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. Today it's time for you to change the world. Change the world. All right, so today we're going to keep reading through the book of Proverbs. Hope you're working with me. Today you have made it to the 9th chapter of Proverbs. Even if you've just been watching these videos, you've made it to the 9th chapter of Proverbs. Now, of course, I want you to go ahead and actually take the time to actually read the book of Proverbs. But today you have made it to the 9th chapter of Proverbs. And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out of the 9th chapter of Proverbs in the King James Version. And then I'm going to break it down as I always do in the NLT, and we'll run it back like that. All right, so here's what it says. And we're going to read all 18 verses today, I think. All right, so here's what it says. Wisdom have builded, I know that sounds weird, but it's King James Version. Wisdom have builded her house. She have hewn out her 7 pillars. She have killed her beasts. She have mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of my wine, which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live, and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. So, what does that mean? I don't know. Just kidding. All right, so we're going to look at some of this in the NLT version as well. Switching over. Remind you guys that there's no specific version of the Bible that you should or could read. I will let you know that the Message version of the Bible is not a Bible at all. The Message version of the Bible is not a Bible at all. All right, but sometimes you can read it. All right, so I like to read it NLT. So here's what we learn. We would find out once again we're personifying wisdom. The word personification means that we are giving human qualities to wisdom. So it says wisdom has built her house, right? And she has carved it with 7 columns. Now the 7 columns is very significant because it's representing. So some people say, well, why 7? Well, it could be for a variety of reasons. The 7 could be just the number 7 as in completion. Also, the number 7 could be in reference to the 7 spirits of God. The 7 spirits of God be the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of might, the spirit of knowledge, and the spirit of the fear of the Lord, right? So those would be the 7 spirits of God. So here's what we know. We know that regardless of all this, that wisdom is built on these 7 columns, right? And then wisdom is calling out. It's kind of like mom calling out, or auntie or grandma calling out. She's like, listen, she's like, I made the food. I set up everything. The table is spread. I've got everything you need. In God, when God offers you wisdom, God sends out wisdom and says, listen, I've got everything you need. Everything is being personified for you, right? So she's saying, hey, come. Wisdom is saying, hey, stop here, get some food, take a stop with me, right? It says, come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, come in, eat my food, and drink the wine I mix. So she's like, come in, drink the food, come get the good stuff that I got made for you, right? Then it goes on to say, anyone who rebukes a mocker will get insult in return. Have you ever try to get on somebody who, like, you try to make fun of or call out somebody who is completely wrong, but they're happy with being wrong. Anytime you call out somebody who's happy with being wrong, you're just going to get wrong back. And that's what the Bible says. It says, anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. But anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers, but correct the wise and they will love you. So if somebody's really trying to improve their life, correct them. Say, hey man, I think you could do this a little bit better this way. And if that's the case, the Bible says they're going to love you for it. Why? Because the fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. So obviously we just can't be trying to give out these nice quotes to people just to seem woke or whatever. But really, we're trying to give people the fear of the Lord, which is the foundation of wisdom. And the knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. So if people know God, they're going to get it. Now, one of the verses that was interesting is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. Right? In Proverbs 9:13, in the King James Version, this is how it reads. It says this. It says, a foolish woman is clamorous, right? Now, immediately it's like, oh, why is it talking about women? Well, actually, what a better translation of the text would probably be, so a better translation of the text would probably be this. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13 in the NLT version, the woman named folly, or the woman named ignorance, or the woman named, for lack of a better word, not being wise, is brash. She is ignorant and doesn't even know it, right? The NET version says the same thing. It says the woman called folly is brash. She is naive, right? Or lives in foolishness and does not know anything. So it's not calling the woman folly. It's saying like one woman is wisdom. One woman is wisdom. Wisdom is the woman who prepares the house, you know, like mommy, auntie, whatever, that takes care of you. And it says the other one is folly, is foolishness, right? It's kind of like that person that you know and you're like, yeah, I will never eat at your house, right? So wisdom is like the house. It's like going to mom's house or grandma's house and you want to eat food there. And folly is the house that you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to eat here. I remember one time I had this job, and it was a job where we had to knock on doors to sell housing products and stuff. And I remember one time we went to this house, man, and one of my coworkers was like, oh yeah, this is our parents' house. I went inside and they were trying to make us a sandwich. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want anything that comes out of this house. I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm not hungry. I was so hungry, but I was not, nope, not at all, right? So the Bible is saying that folly, or not being wise, foolishness, is not living the way, is like going to a house where everything's out of order and you're like, I'm not going to eat from that kitchen. Whereas wisdom is somewhere where you want to. The Bible goes on to say this, that whoever is naive listens to folly. So people, they say birds of a feather flock together. So if your act isn't together, you're probably following after folly and you're setting yourselves up for failure. What does folly say? She says stolen waters are sweet, right? Basically, stealing is okay, or some people would even argue that it's talking about, getting away with something that's bad. Some people would say that it's talking about, people who are involved in like cheating on their spouses or stuff like that, or people who cheat in general, right? And so folly is like stolen waters are sweet, right? It's like when I went over to that person's house, they're all like, this person's like, yeah, my mom makes the best sandwiches. I was like, yo, bro, I'm not eating any sandwiches out of your house. Never, ever. I'm never coming back to your house, ever. And food obtained in secret is pleasant. So a lot of times, especially if you're in school, so maybe some of your fellow students, some of your fellow scholars, they're always like, hey, let's go do this bad thing, right? Folly goes, hey, let's go do this bad thing. But wisdom says, nope, that's not smart. I'm going to get set up. I'm going to get in trouble. How do we know this? The Bible says this. The people that follow folly, the people that follow foolishness don't realize that the dead are there. The dead are in foolishness, and that her guests, or foolishness's guests, are in the depths of the grave, or in the depths of hell, right? So what am I saying? I'm saying protect yourself, follow after wisdom. If you don't know how to get wisdom, the Bible says if any person doesn't have wisdom, ask God for wisdom and God will give you that wisdom. So if you need wisdom at school, you need wisdom on your tests, you need wisdom at your job, just ask God for wisdom and God's going to give it to you. Yeah. Just like that. That about it, y'all. My name is Caleb. This is Art. You are fearfully wonderfully made it. Today it's time for you to change the world. And if you haven't listened to my new single, I need you to go stream it like 1,500 times. Praise Jesus, bless God, hallelujah.